Hey guys, welcome to one more episode for the 20-Minute Fit Mom. And today we're going to talk about the principles that made Sandro come out with this protocol. And I remember when I think he started with the idea, it was the first time that I came back to the gym after my C-section. I was having an amazing recovery at home. And I thought, I knew my body and said, look, I think I can give the shot. Let me go to the gym. Let's do the workout over there. And unfortunately, that day, I had a bad experience I felt a little bit judged for like many of the women there was over there. You know, sometimes maybe I was overreacting, but all the hormones that was like at the time made me feel not welcome over there. And I remember calling Sam and say, look, I don't want to come back to the gym anymore. Whatever you have to do to make me lose weight, it has to be at home. I cannot. I was panicking. I was feeling like super anxious. And I think it started over there, the time, right? At the time, you're working only with bodybuilding. You're only working with people, mostly of guys. So I want you to explain for whoever is listening, what means IBI? Because I know that the IBI is the system that you are using with the guys, and you try to bring this to the 20-Minute Fit Mom. So what means the IBI?
Hi guys, I'm Sandro, strength trainer, registered dietitian, nutritionist, and former bodybuilder. And IBI means intense, brief, and infrequent. IBS system is how I name my training system, which is part of the 20-Minute Fit Mom. Okay, and the first principle, intense, means that the more intense you train, the stronger is the stimulus to tell your body that it needs to adapt.
Okay.
It needs to get stronger, lose fat. Everything that you expect from an exercise is coming from the adaptation. So that's the only reason why you should exercise. Okay. Besides this, the social part and any other thing that is related to going to the place, to facility, but when it comes to the exercise itself, the only reason why you exercise is because you want an adaptation. You want your body to get better, stronger, faster, and more flexible. All right. So the stronger the stimulus, the better the response for the exercise. So that means principle. The first principle, intensity. The second is brief. When you train with intensity, when you really give your all out in a set, let's say you're doing it in a squat and you go until completely muscle failure.
You cannot get up. You cannot. It's burning so much.
You can't continue anymore. You need to first that you don't need to do a second set. That's why we do only one set per exercise. Also, you are pushing your muscles to the limit. So this high level of effort, it can't be done for a long period. So that's why it has to be short. Okay, when people spend longer periods at the gym, they stay for an hour and a half, or 2 hours. They are certainly not training intensely. That's why they can't stay for longer periods. If you're training with intensity, the workout needs to be short.
Yes.
Must be short.
Yeah.
Okay, which is less than 30 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes or less. Okay.
Especially because we do not rest between the reps. We go one exercise to another without resting, which is something very complicated to do, to perform in a conventional gym. People spend too much time in doing the exercise with the cell phone and all. This was one of the reasons why we changed to work out at home.
You wanted to be quick and go back to your baby.
Of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's the second principle. Brief, because you're training hard, so it needs to be short.
Yes.
And the third principle is infrequent, is because you don't have the positive effect from the workout when you're working out. When you're working out, you're actually tearing your body. You're causing lacerations to your muscles.
You're kind of breaking your muscle fibers.
Yeah,
let's say.
We can put it that way.
Yeah.
Then when you're resting, when you're sleeping, when you're not working out, your body recovers. Then the effect that you're expecting from is gonna come at that time. Yeah. So if you keep doing exercise all the time, especially if you're doing it in the right way, in an intense way, you will never get better. You might even get worse because you're not giving enough rest to your body. So you need to rest. And that resting, when you're really training hard, will vary something between 4 to 5 days between workout. I mean, after you work, let's say legs, you need to rest at least 4 to 5 days before you do your next workout. And why? It's because since you're always trying to progress, you're trying to make progress in your workout. Let's say you did 10 reps with 20 pounds, okay, and you reach failure. If you don't give enough rest to your body, you won't be able to do more reps with the same weight because your body is not fully recovered. So in order for you to do more reps with the same weight, that means that you are stronger. You need to rest adequately. So that's why infrequently, okay? You need to train infrequently, which is no more than once or twice a week.
So let's get the IBI: intense, brief, infrequent. Okay, so you got these 3 ideas and say, okay, with this I have to come out with something to my wife that is she's recovering from a C-section. That is a major surgery. I was at least 80 pounds over my ideal body weight, so I had so many limitations, right? And you came out with something that made me lose all of this, and I got in a better shape even though I was not at the gym. So how was the main idea? So when you got the call from me, look, I have to work out at home, and we didn't have absolutely any gear, which was the main steps that we took?
Okay, basically, I had to adapt those solid and logical principles.
Of course.
Okay, those principles were applied by Dorian Yates, Mike Menser, Cassie Vitor.
Mike Menser was a doctor. We need to point out he was a doctor.
He wasn't only a bodybuilder.
In sports. He and his brother, both of them were in the medical field. So it was not a guy who just I like to work out, let me try to do some experiments. No, he was a scientist. He went to college. So this is based on scientific, he went to college, right? So he was incredibly safe.
Yeah. So the principles are very solid and logic, but the problem was how to adapt those principles to train at home with almost no gear.
Okay? And was completely out of shape as well.
With a person who is not able to perform certain exercises, because Mike Menser always advocated that squats, deadlifts, dips, and pull-ups are the best exercises ever, but you couldn't do most of them.
No.
Dorian Yates would say that you have to train until you can't move anymore and you can't walk for 4 or 5 days. But she was recovering from a C-section. So at the same time that I had to apply the principle of intensity, but how do I apply that to a post-pregnancy C-section woman, right? So that was a challenge, to adapt the principles to no gear and a recovery process, okay? So what we did basically is, okay, what are the movements that I want to perform? And this is the part that you need to pay attention if you want to start applying the principles of the 20-minute fit mom, which is full body workouts. And full body workout means that through the right combination of exercises, okay, you work your whole body with 6-7 exercises. You don't need to do one exercise for every single muscle of your body. If you do, let's say, a bench press, you're training chest muscles, shoulder, and triceps. Okay, just to mention the major ones. If you're doing a row movement, you're training back, biceps, forearms. So if you combine the right exercises, you can train your whole body with 6 or 7 exercises. That's what I did. What are the movements? So we did different variations of row, pull-ups, chest press, shoulder press, squats, biceps curl, and mostly skull crusher for triceps.
Yeah.
Those are the main exercises we've been using. Sometimes we use different versions, but those are the ones. I always think about movement. I don't think about exercises. So those are the movements. What gear do we need? If you have a barbell, a bench, and a few plates, that's all you need to perform all those exercises. And that takes little space, okay? That is a very inexpensive gear and takes a little space. So that's what we got. We got a bench. We got a foldable bench with 2 stands, a bar, and a few plates.
And bands, right? We got a lot of bands. We had a lot of
bands. At the really
bands.
beginning, we started training with bands, not even with the bench.
Because I was very I was not in shape to perform absolutely nothing.
Yeah, we had some good result only with bands, okay? But after those first weeks with bands, when you felt better, you felt stronger, we started using that gear, the minimal gear that fits inside the closet. Okay, so that was the way I found those movements, and they work well. She could perform those weight, a different version of squats instead of doing regular squats. She
I did wall squat.
Wall squat, or sometimes hard range of motion, which is a variation. You do the hardest part of the range of motion, so you don't have to put much weight. With your body weight, it's enough for you to do a really hard set of squats, So I had to adapt with the correct exercises for her to be able to do, and it worked. That was the way I adapted the 3 core principles to that period.
Okay, so what we want to say over here is not that our program is just amazing. You have to start doing this right now. Anything you commit will be good for you, and you're going to see results. The problem with the conventional way of working out for moms right now is that she has to commit 60 to 90 minutes a week, sometimes 4 or 5 days a week. So she has to go to the gym every single day to have some results. And right now it's impossible.
Yeah, if you allow me, I want to clarify this, because we usually face a situation of people with different opinions, very sensible people. They get even offended. They start saying, but you're wrong. Why this? You need to work out more, And I want to point out that the part that you just mentioned, okay, this is the most time efficient way to exercise to have the best possible results.
Time efficient.
What means time efficient? If you can make $1,000 working 40 hours a week, that's good. If you can make the same $1,000 working 10 hours a week, that's more time efficient. Okay, so she lost 84 pounds, lost 16 inches of her waist, training once or twice a week for 20 minutes. She could maybe lose the same amount of weight in measurement with training in a conventional way, 5 times a week for an hour a day.
Maybe if I was single, without kids, not working.
Yeah, but just to put to explain the time efficient concept, okay? You could have the same result. So someone might say, okay, but I knew a person having a similar result, okay, with a different method. Okay, but what we are saying here is that for you, mom, with no time, you need something time efficient, and this is the most time efficient way to train. Okay, to really have the result, the aesthetic result you expect, which is losing weight and tone up. Okay, toning up, because if you do a lot of cardio and you follow a really restrict diet, you will lose weight, but your body will not look in the weight you want. Okay, in order to have the best possible aesthetic result, toning up and losing weight, this is the most time efficient way. Not the only one, but the most time efficient way.
So right now we are inviting you, mom. Whatever you're doing at the gym, I go to the gym and I do like 6 exercise. Continue doing the 6, but try to do 1 set for each of these exercises.
Until you can't do anymore.
Until you can't do anymore. And if you know that you're going to do only 1 set, increase your weight a little bit. Let's go by, if you are doing leg press with 100 pounds, I'm just going to give this big number. Increase 10 more pounds and go to you cannot move your leg up and down anymore.
Yes.
And do the same with the next exercise and so on and so forth. Of course, you're not going to increase the same amount of pounds. And if you're doing bench press, for example, try to do this for the next time. And I want you to go to the gym the next day and try to do the same. And you're going to be proven that it's impossible to give your all out in this high intensity way and go to the gym the next day and do the same thing.
Yeah, because you have to remember again what I mentioned at the beginning, okay? The only reason why you're exercising is because you want to have, you want to get stronger.
Yeah.
You want to have improvement, okay? So if you're not tracking your sets, you're not tracking your exercises, you have no idea what you're doing. You're doing random exercises with random sets, with random weights. You're not having improvement. So you could do every day, even twice a day. But if you know that, okay, I got 10 reps with 20 pounds in the squat last time, and my goal today is to do more than 10 reps with the same 20 pounds. Okay, so you have a clear goal. You want to achieve something.
Yes.
Then if you're not able to achieve that, you're not able to do more than 10 reps,
you need to rest.
So that means that you didn't rest enough. Mm-hmm. It's that simple.
That is even better.
That applies to every exercise. So whatever routine you're following now, if you want to see, okay, I want to apply these guys' principles here to see if it works, okay? You do one set to failure and you track how many reps you did, okay? We track time until failure. We don't track reps, but you can continue tracking reps, okay? So with 20 pounds, I did 10 reps. That's what everything I could do. I couldn't move anymore. So next time you go, you try to do more. Let's say you're training after 3 days. You couldn't do more than 10 reps. That means that you have to rest one more day. If you next time you could do more than 10, that means you're resting enough. So that applies to every body part, okay, for every exercise. And you will see that you will have much better results training much less, which will give you more time to be with your family, with your kids.
And if you are not seeing results, probably there is something wrong with your
Yeah,
meal plan. But
yeah.
this is another thing that we have to say that does not apply. It's not only about working out. Oh, wow, I'm working out so well. I'm applying their principles. Why I'm not losing weight? Probably there is something with your meal plan. Probably there's something that's happened with your diet. So this was also something that he brought from the IBI system. So some tool that he was using with his former bodybuilders, former clients. That was a list of substitutes for what that means. I have to eat 300 grams of bread. Okay, I don't know how much 300 grams of bread is. I don't have a scale at home. Okay, so you can get here the list of substitutes. I have tons of other foods that can be classified as a bread, for example, as a carbohydrate source. This is what I'm trying to say. And this is the way that I could be fit, come back to my pre-pregnancy body, even better, eating whatever I wanted, but I was respecting some kind of rules in the diet that was portion size.
Yeah, because this is even to answer one of our friends. She's probably listening to our episode. She always asks about diet, and she says she's not sure if the diet is so important to lose weight, to tone up, and everything and all. And I want to tell you, Mom, probably trying to lose weight now, that despite our episodes are mostly based on workouts, because it's the part that is harder for people to understand, the principles of intensity and everything. But the diet is the most important to lose weight. Okay?
If you want to lose weight.
Yeah. If you need to lose weight, the diet is the most important, because calorie restriction is the first most important principle. Okay? If you're eating the correct number of calories, even no doing cardio and doing an intense short workout and frequent, you will lose weight. If you're doing a lot of cardio but you're not controlling your calories, you will never lose weight, or you will lose just a little bit. Okay, so the way I organize the nutrition is with a list of food substitution, which divide all kind of foods in different groups, and foods will have different portions. So you don't need to think about calories or macronutrient ratio. You just need to, what group should I eat and how many portions? And that's it. That's the easiest way even a person with absolutely no nutrition background is able to follow with no major issues. And
if you want a visual idea of what we are talking about, we are thinking on making a video to put in your YouTube channel, the YouTube channel that you are following us on the podcast. We're going to make a video explaining step by step how it works, this food substitutes list with the diet, with the plan. So then you can have a visual of what we are talking about, how it works, why it's so easy, why I can choose whatever I have to eat. So right now, to end up with this episode, I want to tell you something. Once again, our protocol is the most time efficient. Okay, Mom? We tailored this thinking about a new mom life. Okay, the new mom life with a newborn. In our case, we had nobody to help us. We had a few friends that came over a few times, but no one fully helping us with everything. Meal prep, for example, I had to cook, he had to cook. So we need to have something easy and fast making, right? Where I could see results, where I could stick with it because it was easy to stick. It's simple like that. How many times I have to go pay the membership to go to the gym, and I I can tell you in my fingers how many times I went to the gym. Because it was kind of, okay, I have to go to the gym again, I have to spend there, I don't know, 40, 20 minutes. So this time efficient, you go, you have to work out 1 or twice a week. It's easy to stick because you don't have to spend too much time on it.
So try to apply the principles, okay, with whatever workout you're following. And you can apply those principles whether you're training at the gym, at the club, at home, okay? We advocate the home workouts because it's the easiest way to go for moms, but you can do at the gym as well, okay? So thanks for listening to us and follow our social media, okay? You will find there videos of Nanda working out and showing the practical part of the nutrition, of the workouts and everything. So it's a great compliment to the podcast. If you're listening to us, watch our videos on social media as well. All right?
Thank you for listening.
See you next episode.